How about now? It works. And I'm going to turn you guys up, and you guys can talk now. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. Oh my god. I know. I hate everything right now. Uh, um. Okay, now you can talk.
Talk.
We did the thing. Oh wow,
Yeah.
but you guys are
Did we do
coming
the thing?
hot. We did the thing. What
Oh,
is
boy.
up, everybody? Welcome to episode 295 of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. This is our first episode of the new year, so happy New Year to everyone watching and to everyone here. This is a wild year. To start with, this is not only the year we hit 300 episodes, because if we don't, a meteor struck because there's only 5 episodes left. But also, this is the beginning of EFG 10, as how I am calling it. This is the year of the 10th anniversary of Engaged Family Gaming. So
That's way bigger than Disney 100.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Disney 100 ain't got nothing. Discover the wonder. How about this? Get your family game on. Better,
Yeah.
better slogan. High five to myself. So we're gonna do all sorts of cool stuff as the year goes by to talk about that. But what better way to start a year but to talk about the cool stuff that is coming? Because if nothing else, we are unmitigated hype machines, and so yeah, that's it. So first off, let me introduce my amazing panel who is joining me not only this time but probably for the rest of the year. Hopefully for the rest of the year. To my left or right, I don't know directions, is the man behind the curtain, John Tomlinson. Sir, how are you?
Doing pretty well. You know,
Good.
exciting year. This is the year of that Jack Black movie.
You're the Jack Black movie. We got a lot of stuff going on. Next to him is my very good friend, the Mistress of Magnificence, otherwise known as Mom, Linda Roble, our board game editor. Linda, how are you?
I am doing all right. Getting through.
Are you ready? Are you ready for us to invade your home on Saturday and Sunday to make content?
I am so excited for some normalcy having you guys come over. Yes, we're very excited.
Yes, because this weekend is EFGCon, which is when we make a whole lot of content in not a lot of time. It is intense. It is wild. It is fun. Jeff's got to come out for one at some point.
Eventually, especially she shared the food list again, and I'm like, and I don't get any.
I know you're gonna be
Sorry.
digital. It's
Every
all right.
time
It's all
I
right.
hear how great when I do come, I hear I need to get some Robo cake. That's what I've been told.
Oh, let me
That
tell
is
you,
the correct
make
roll
you
thing.
kick is
one.
magic. So we're gonna go clockwise. We have the man from the frozen north, Jeff Walker. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, but honestly, I think you have more snow than I do right now.
Nope. It's just cold.
We don't
It's
got
just
no-
cold.
Okay.
It's just cold.
I've been in the 40s all week.
And last, it's been pretty close to that actually. And last but absolutely not least, my very best friend in the whole wide world, Amanda Farrow, the Princess of Power. How are you? It
I
is
love
podcast week.
week. I've had such a long and tiring day. And
I
I'm
think-
so glad to be podcasting and just hanging out with people that I really like.
I think what we're gonna need to do is next time we take a holiday break, what we should do is schedule a holiday party podcast where we don't where we just get on a Zoom call, just so Amanda doesn't have that holiday anxiety of not podcasting.
That's
We'll just
probably
pretend.
fair.
We'll pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, and as everyone knows, my name is Steven Dukes. I'm the host and founder of EngagedFamilyGaming.com. Fun fact about the beginning of EFG: Evan was 7 years old when we started, and he's going to be now he contributes to the website as our virtual reality editor. Like, I gave him a title.
Wow.
Dang.
Whereas before, like, we could make him business cards. Whereas before, he was, it was just because I wanted to be able to play cool games with him. And so we'll be sharing more stories like that over the rest of the year, because it is the enormity of this last 10 years is rolling over me every week as I think more and more about it. So 2023.
Steven?
What's up, Jeff?
The real question is, how much more gray is your beard than it was 10 years ago?
Dude,
Oh,
you know what?
ow.
You know what? We
Ow.
have started to put together. It's the short answer is a lot. The short answer is a lot. I think I was like a skunk So I had like the 2 white stripes, I think, when I started. But yeah, you're right. Trust me, when we start doing side-by-side picks of back in the day, it's going to be, I'm going to feel very old. Obviously, Amanda does not age. She's frozen in time. As is Linda. She's frozen in time. You know, John has looked exactly the same since I first met him, however many years ago. He's just got nicer glasses now. Because there's a lady there's a lady around taking care of him, making sure he's got nice glasses. And Jeff, I've only known you for a while. You look exactly the same too.
I mean,
at least aging.
At least half the time. I think 5 years. I think Kyrie was 2.
Well,
Kyrie was 2 when I first started working with you, and she's going to be 7 next week.
We are.
Wow.
That's one of the projects is putting together the full EFG timeline for the rest of the year. So 2023, a very big year. Lots of video games are coming out this year. And Amanda, you're the business person. Tell me if I'm right. When games get delayed from one year, they come out in another one.
They do. And it usually creates an absolute nightmare tornado of AAA and indie releases that end up just completely destroying every critic who's out there.
So, like, the Game Awards happened. And Amanda and I were texting each other throughout, which we typically do during all these announcements, and we just kept going, wait, that's June? Wait, really? That's also
June?
That's
Is that May? What?
And so
how are we going to play all these games?
And you know how we're going to do it? Because it's for the children is why we're going to do
because
this.
We can.
So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to talk about our most anticipated board games and video games of 2023. We're going to start with board games because I've been told that me, John, and Jeff, and Amanda go long, and sometimes we don't give Linda her piece. And
so we need to respect the board game editor.
Respecting the board game editor.
Gotta respect the mom.
We gotta respect mom. So, Linda.
Why I gave her the moniker, man.
Yeah.
Linda, let's just get right into it, which this may
We
be
dive right
the
in?
fastest that I've ever dove into a topic before, but that's because we just ain't got time. Linda, tell us what board games are coming out that we should be excited about. And then I will tell you whether or not, and I have one to follow it up on.
Okay. So I think I've got 4. I had to do my homework at the library because, so for those watching, I haven't had internet at my house for almost 3 weeks. It's been so fun doing most of my work on my phone. So anyway, so from my research through social media, through skulking websites and whatnot, there are 4 that came up. Now I do have to say, I had to curate this list. There were so many that were coming up. And I'm looking at them, reading descriptions, looking at playtime. And what I was finding is a lot of the hype games that were coming up into my awareness were games that I wouldn't actually want to play. Not because they're not amazing games, but because they're like 120 minutes to play. And that's not chunky. And that's not what I go for. So I went to find games that I actually want to go buy myself and I want for my family because its games will actually get to the table. So the first one I found is called Mission Control Critical Orbit. It's by 3WS. I don't know if there's a way to pronounce it, but it's 3WS is the publisher. It's a 2 to 4 player game. They're recommending it about age 12 and up. 15 to 20 minute playtime. That's a playtime that my family can get behind.
Very nice.
Right now it's in pre-order. They expect it in Q1 through pre-orders and in stores around summer. And that was at their November update on this game. So here's what this game is. Here's their blurb. In the year 1972, SAGA, Space and Aeronautics Global Alliance, successfully completed its first hyperspace trip to Mars. The crew of Mercury 3 missed re-entry window and have explosive damage. So you're playing as the team to successfully get them back before they run out of oxygen. This game is played just like Last Defense that Funko put out a couple of years ago, with a hard 20-minute real-time timer. So once you start, it is 20 minutes, period, unless you succeed faster. So what's really cool, it's a roll and write. But it adds 2 more descriptors. It is an asymmetrical cooperative roll and write.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the idea is you have one person that's the flight controller. They're the ones rolling the dice and calling out the numbers. And they've got something they're doing on their board. And then there's up to 3 other players that can play as that from the different locations that are trying to collaborate on this rescue mission. And so one of them is a Sudoku style board you're trying to fill in. One of them is using polyomino pieces to fill in as you complete certain numbers. And one is where you're adding the dice numbers to reach certain values to meet benchmarks, again, to complete your task. So everybody's doing a different task. What I like is none of these individual tasks are super challenging as far as like to learn the rules. So
Okay.
it sounds chaotic. I watched the videos of them playing at conventions. It looks just chaotic and just so much fun. So that one definitely came up. I might have the pre-order saved on my computer for when I have internet again.
I mean, at least your pre-order
Might.
activities. have been
She
slowed
says
down a
Might.
little bit.
might.
And the price point isn't crazy. That's the other piece. I was looking at games. I'm like, do I want to spend $80 on a game that I might get to the table? But maybe I'll spend $40. Like that's more attainable. So that was one that I'm looking forward to that came across in my research. Another one that came across coming up by Thames and Cosmos, which we love their stuff. They're really known for coming out with some really great games. They were the ones that put out The Crew a couple years ago. Well, they are doing another trick-taking game, but now they've added that there's a hidden traitor element to it. So this game's called Inside Job. So it is a cooperative, mostly, trick-taking game with a hidden traitor. The only downside, it is 3 to 5 players. And I know for some families, having it being 3 players as the starting is not always everybody's favorite, but they do have a 2-player variant. So that's good. This one's another one around 20 minutes to play. And they recommended about age 10 and up, only $20. So a nice, easy price point. They're expecting it this spring. So this is very similar to The Crew. You're going to be trying to complete missions and you're gathering intel while the insider, who's your traitor, is trying to sabotage the team. So it looks like they took The Crew and they're like, what can we do next? So they have more of this like almost like a mafia feel. That's what the artwork reminded me of. With that one. So that one really seemed interesting. And The Crew has been such a big hit.
Yeah.
This seems like they're kind of taking the next step by adding that hidden traitor component.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. The Crew, their 2 iterations so far have been wildly successful. So
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense that they just take that formula and add it to another one. Why don't you give us one more of the other 2? I just want to be respectful of Amanda's time. She's gonna have to pop.
Of
out, so-
course.
Good, we're good. I'm
looking
still.
at
I'm
the
Let me
still
do
vibing.
one and we'll see if there's time because the last one I have is super duper duper short.
Okay.
So let me do the bigger one. So the other one that I've got, I want to make sure I say, is called Casting Shadows. This is by the same people that did Here to Slay and Unstable Unicorn. I backed this on Kickstarter.
Oh.
Yes. So this tells you where I am with it. I did actually put my money where my mouth is on this one and did back this when it was first out there. 2 to 4 players, 30 to 60 minutes. We love Here to Slay. We like Unstable Unicorns. We love Here to Slay. This one has a hex map you build with tiles. It's played over 3 phases, very similar in the feel it looks like to Here to Slay. You're rolling your resource dice.
Okay.
You're using your action points to do some different things like travel or collect resources or refresh, things like that. And then you get to adjust something called a shadow tracker, because you're casting shadows, and absorb any remaining shadow fragment. So there's this magical element. I mean, the pictures are amazing. They've got little figs and standees, and depending on what tier you backed on. I didn't go full craziness, but it's super cute. And it's basically, from everything it looks like in the descriptor from the Kickstarter, you win by being the last player standing at the end. So right now, production's complete. They're actually preparing fulfillment. So I'm hoping in first quarter this will be in hand. So.
Awesome.
That
This
sounds
one-
really interesting. I love it when you
Yeah.
sell me on board games and I'm like, that's going on my wish list. That's
Yeah.
going on my wish list.
Linda's really good at that. Yeah, and you know what?
It's true.
Speaking of being good at it, Linda, I'm sorry. Give us the other one, and then I will
Do
it.
share
Last one?
mine.
It's
Do it.
super fast because it's another Kickstarter I backed. If you think back to Fire in the Library that was on Kickstarter a couple years ago that I bought, backed everything, this is the prequel. It is a micro game. I think it's only 27 cards. It was it's on you can pre-order it now. It is the prequel to Fire in the Library because there was an explosion in the laboratory.
Oh, heck.
Yep, it's just a push your luck micro game. They're right now finalizing the cards. They're hoping to have it fulfilled by the end of this year.
And they will.
But
And
I
they
don't
will.
need
This
tons
is
of
Weird Giraffe
detail.
Games. They are really good
Yeah.
at what they do.
They're so good, and it's 1 to 4. Carla always makes sure that there's a single player variant. So
That's
it's 1 to 4
wonderful.
players. This one's played in under half an hour. It's
Mm.
just, I saw that they were doing the prequel, and it was being a micro game. It was very cost effective. I'm like, I must help. I must back it.
And we love Carla here. She's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Several times over, in fact.
It's true.
So she is super great. Okay.
So that was the
All
speed
those
run.
are great. Speed run last. Well, you're right. The last one, a micro game, micro announcement. So those are all 4 really great games. I have 2. One of them I just want to mention. They have like a really cool like Marvel X-Men theme game that I saw and put down. Like my research of it, where you're basically like building a team and leveling them up, and it's like a really cool like crunchy dungeon game where I get to be Cyclops. And if I get to play a dungeon game where I get to be Cyclops, I'm gonna like have to do it. It looked to me like mini Gloomhaven with X-Men dudes, and like I'm gonna be real, that sounds perfect for me. However,
That sounds pretty great.
Yeah, doesn't that sound like Steven?
That sounds
Doosan
really
board
good.
game?
Yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
at that one too.
Yeah. But we'll come back with more data on that one. The one that I really want to talk about is the Dungeons and Dragons setting, because 2023 is the year that they bring Planescape back.
Woo!
If you don't know what Planescape is it's the Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons multiverse thing. Excuse me. I need to get a drink of water at some point. So Planescape is that's it. It's Dungeons and Dragons, but it's multiverse shenanigans. And it's set in this cool ring-shaped city called the City of Doors, Sigil, and it's led by the Lady of Pain, and it's all dark and weird, and like every alignment has a different plane associated with it, and it's so cool.
Glorious, creepy nonsense.
It's glorious, creepy shenanigans. And I cannot wait for that game to come out. One of my favorite experiences was playing a huge mega adventure that was part of the Planescape campaign setting called Dead Gods. And I played with my friends from college, and we finished the whole thing. And God,
So where are we dropping, boys? Are we gonna play? Are you running a game?
I mean,
Because I'll come up.
Oh, there are plans. We'll talk about D&D, but we don't have time. So Planescape is happening, and I'm very excited. All they showed me was the logo, and Jenna is sitting over here. And I don't think she's seen me jump through a ceiling before, and I've seen them announce Legend of Zelda games, and like the Street Fighter 6 logo didn't even get me that hype. That's what we're talking about here. So so those are the board games. I think realistically that barely scratches the surface. We all know that by the end of this year, by the end of this year, there will be so many things.
Dipped a little toe in. A
Just
little.
a little bit.
Sure.
But we're gonna do the exact same thing with video games, because this year is impossible to contain within a 1-hour podcast. There's just so
Yes.
much, and
Entirely.
And the thing that kind of freaks me out about it is a lot of these things have already been through their crazy delay cycles. So like now they have to happen or they're being canceled, and I don't think that many of them are gonna. Like this is just it's happening. So Amanda, I want you to go first because we know that you love indie games.
I do.
And there's a lot of really good indie games coming out this year. So give us some
There
give
are.
us some fire.
All
I
right.
want to know.
So I'm going to tell you about my most anticipated indie games. Remember that there are always incredible indie games coming out literally every single day. Always go check Steam and Switch for the greatest indie games, because that's where they live for the most part. And on itch. They also live on itch. So my most anticipated indie games of 2023, the top of the list is Spirit Swap. Spirit Swap is a game that I kickstarted, which I don't do very often anymore. I don't kickstart video games, but I made an exception for this to my personal rule because I love the folks behind Soft Not Weak. And Spirit Swap is a match 3 game. I already love match 3 games. I play a lot of them on my phone. But what makes Spirit Swap so different is that it's very centered around people of color and queerness and magic. And not just a match 3 game, but a relationship game where you build friendships. It is a game where you get to like build out your own little personal space with Samar, who is the main character of Spirit Swap, and a bunch of other really excellent, very cool things, including an endless mode. And I believe that there is a versus mode as well for Spirit Swap. Oh my gosh, that one's gonna hurt. Because let me tell you, when you get higher up in the levels of Spirit Swap, they hurt you. It's legit. They really hurt you. It's bright, it's gorgeous. Get it on your wish list. It's going to be available on Steam. And I'm not sure if it's coming out on any other platforms at the beginning of the development, or
But
rather at launch.
it is super. Having watched you play it, because you played the demo on your stream when you were
I
streaming.
have. Yeah.
Um,
Played it a couple
it
times.
is perfect for the Switch. So my hope is that it is successful on Steam and gets those curators' attention over.
I even want to
Switch.
see it on mobile. Like
I
this
mean, yeah, it's a
game
good
is
mobile game.
it is that good. It is a vibe. The music is fabulous, done by Melty Cannon. So, just a fantastic game all the way around. I am so excited about it. So that's at the very top of my list.
Yep. What next?
A little bit underneath that is Venba, which is a video game about cooking. Y'all know I love cooking games.
Ooh.
I love cooking games, and this isn't just any cooking game. This is a Southeast Asian cooking game about an immigrant family that moved to Toronto. So Canadian on top of it. So that's all very, very exciting. I love games that, especially indie games, that explore different perspectives of different cultures, different ways of being, different perspectives. And Venba has been at the top, almost at the very top of my list for anticipated indie games for a couple of years now, because I've been waiting so very patiently / impatiently for it to come out. And I just keep following them wherever they go. And I'm like, but give me a release date. So apparently it's this year sometime. I don't know. I hope it is. But we will have to see.
We'll know.
We'll know, because I'll be shouting about it. I'll be yelling.
It's been in several Nintendo Directs, so this is
It
one of
has
those games
been.
that, like, Nintendo has been shouting about it. They're very excited.
It's gorgeous.
There's not many games that make me hungry.
That game
this
makes me hungry. That game makes me want to make my own curry, and I'm not very good at making curry. I'm a good cook, but I'm not that kind of a good cook
Oh,
yet.
I'm
But we'll
terrible.
see.
I'm terrible, I would assume, but I would have the general make me some.
That's fair.
She's better at everything than I am, so
That's fair. She's amazing. What's not to
True.
love? The general.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
you're curious. That's what you're saying.
I am in fact curious. What else? Give me.
See what
give
you
me
did
one,
there.
Give me one more, Amanda.
I'm going to give you one more off of my indie list. That is Lakeburg Legacies. I saw Lakeburg Legacies. I am not joking. I saw that on a direct. I think it might have been the Wholesome Direct last year, I want to say. It is a social-based village management sim, and it's focusing on like pairing up your townsfolk to make the best and most effective families. So you're basically a matchmaker in a game. That's also a management sim. So those are like, that definitely hits on a few things for me. Just like a couple at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, it's hand-drawn, so it's beautiful, and I really like the music that I've heard so far. And anyway, it's all about building legacies and keeping your kingdom going based on these legacies. So it's like for anyone that's ever played Crusader Kings, it is a less intense version of Crusader Kings, which is very much around kingdom management. And it does have relationship pieces of it as well, so that you can keep your kingdom going and you create, your own legacy in your own way. But this is a much more approachable version of just the social portion of Crusader Kings.
I was about to say a much less intense version of Crusader Kings. So all video games.
Well, I mean, yeah, Crusader Kings is a really super intense game.
Just being sassy.
So that's all my indies. I won't
Give
go
me some
through.
AAA shenanigans. I want to know.
I'll give you some AAAs.
Because we know you're the indie gal, but I know
I'm the
but you're a video game person. So
I am a video game person. So I'm not going to touch on all of them because I know that we're going to have some overlap here. So the ones that I do want to talk about are Redfall, which is for the grown-ups. It's a grown-up game. You definitely do not want to be playing that while the kids are around because that is a game about being a vampire hunter. It's like, imagine Left 4 Dead, but vampires instead of zombies.
Did you see the interviews from this week where they actually?
I did not.
Where they actually said, because they were asked about the Left 4 Dead comparisons, and they actually said that it's going to be closer to like a Far Cry Borderlands than Left 4 Dead.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. Looter shooter sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, right.
This doesn't change anything for me. This just makes me more interested. Let's go.
Yeah, I have to ban someone, so you guys.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. You go ahead and you do your thing. So Redfall is high on my anticipated list. I have had my eyeballs on it since it was announced. I love basically everything Arcane makes. So yay. Pretty much near the top of my list for the AAAs. Also from Microsoft Game Studios is Forza Motorsport. Forza's coming out, folks. It's happening.
Can't believe it.
It's not a Horizons game. So I can sit down with my wheel and my pedals and my shifter, and we're going to have a nice little time in a racing sim, a full sim. She says, knowing full well that she has Gran Turismo 7 and still hasn't cracked it because this year has been a lot. And to wrap it up, apparently everything I want to play. No, it's not everything. Sorry. Octopath Traveler 2 is also coming out. And I need that game too.
Oh my god, I'm so excited about Octopath Traveler 2. Like that
one snuck up on me.
Mm-hmm. I saw a Facebook ad for it the other day, and I was like, "What do you mean? That's not coming out until next year?" And then I went, "Oh."
Oh, but it is next year. Oh.
It is next year.
Oh.
In fact, it comes out next month.
Jeff,
that's psychic damage.
Yeah.
Jeff,
that's psychic damage.
Why you gotta do this?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Birthday's next month. I still got a plan for that. Don't say that.
I'm really excited for Redfall because I am excited for your hype level for that because that's going to determine whether or not I eventually play it on Game Pass. Like, it's not necessarily like my jam, but I do enjoy.
Well, we could play it together.
We could play it together. Well, there's a couple other like horror gothic action adventure games that we're supposed to play together that are
that's fair.
The year. But you're right. But we've got this. I suspect that this will be the year that I finally convince you to actually play a game with me.
It's not that I don't want to play games with you, bud.
Amanda, I'm just being sassy. If I didn't sass
you can sass me all you want. I wouldn't know who you were if you didn't sass me, so it's good. Thank you for reminding me.
You would think I was
Thank you. Or that you were body snatched. So thanks for not being body snatched.
I have not been body snatched. So, yeah, I'm excited for Redfall. I mean, every time I see a video of it, I'm like, wow, this looks cooler and cooler. I'm really looking forward to like all the streams, right? Like that's one of those games that I'm really looking forward to watching, like people who are good at video games play. That's really how I feel about Redfall and Octopath.
I also like that they changed gears and started comparing themselves to Borderlands because Borderlands has been falling out lately, so it's a good switch up to have something a little bit better, something more fun, and it looks fun though. It looks like a fun game.
It really does. If you're gonna do a looter shooter, make me want it.
Yeah.
I will say though, Tiny Tina's is really good. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I was just gonna say, now that you said it's more like Borderlands and not Left 4 Dead, because I will be perfectly honest, Left 4 Dead was back in college. My friends played it so much that I got sick of Left 4 Dead. So here I am, 15 years later. 15 years later, and I still don't want to play a game that's like Left 4 Dead.
Well,
I'm all about it. Left 4 Dead has so many good memories for me as one of the kids that probably drove you crazy with playing Left 4 Dead so much.
Yep.
My bad.
We had an Ethernet cord going down our dorm hallway so we could connect our Xboxes.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Sounds about right.
actually, yeah, that tracks.
That's
That
honestly
also,
Sounds like my house growing up. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. That's
that
fine.
also
How we
freak-
played Halo.
That also freaks me out because like you did that. That game was out while you were in college. Hey.
Yeah,
The Utes,
Yeah, I'm feeling old now.
The Utes. On
I
the-
think I'm older than that.
Yeah, a little, but still,
Little.
the Utes.
I used to have a neighbor that had a networked house that we played Doom, and he had like 3
Yeah.
or 4 computers that were networked in the house. Like it
That
was
was my house, friend. That was my house.
Yeah. I think the guy may have been a developer at the time.
That sounds
Like
about right.
we used to mow his lawn, and like the team of us would get invited in to go play Doom for a couple hours. So yeah,
I'd mow a lawn
That's
just-
honestly,
I would've
that's
mowed-
the
I
dream.
mowed the lawn for free. He still paid us. Like
I'd have mowed a lawn.
Even
for
though you got
free.
to go inside and play video games? What?
yeah. Oh no.
Oh, the hardship.
I would have
The
done that.
hardship.
I would have done
That sounds pretty great. Anyway, so obviously I remain the indie queen. I love my indies. There's still other AAA games on my list that I didn't talk about because I'm going to leave it to the 3 of you to get that going. And I will see all of you
in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Well, and I'll see you on Saturday.
No, we'll see
I mean,
you
but-
Saturday. Except for
Oh,
that.
that's true. No, I'll see you Saturday. For those of you
Yeah.
that are in here, well, mostly everybody. I'll see mostly everybody on
You'll
Saturday.
be back on the podcast in 2 weeks.
I will be
Everybody else
back on the
will see you
podcast in 2 weeks, and I'll talk to Steve in like half an hour on
Yeah.
text.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'll text you in
Pretty much.
45 minutes. Bye, man.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
My
Bye.
Hi.
Okay, so I was nervous when she left if it was gonna like throw off the Discord chat. but
The
we're in good
vibe.
shape. All right.
yeah, we're good.
Okay, the mods are asleep. Let's talk about Zelda. Okay, so that's a Reddit joke. That's me trying to be young. So let's just do it. Can we just do it? The
Yeah.
biggest release for me of this year, probably on the whole planet. It's not really, but whatever. Is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Jeff, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the new Legend of Zelda?
I am probably about a 9.
I think that's fair.
I would give it 9. I'm not the biggest Zelda fan.
I know we've been
It's
over
probably-
this. This is one of your character flaws.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
One
Uh,
of.
but I am a big enough fan that I did play Breath of the Wild on a Wii U
Wow,
Oh.
I remember that. I remember
Because
you
I
telling me
could-
that.
because I could not afford a Switch at the time.
Listen, you made the right decision. Listen, you gotta eat. We recognize you gotta eat, but video games are important.
Not
so,
every job is like EFG and lets me take paternity leave for a whole year at my full pay.
straight up.
Well, we doubled it when you came back.
And then we doubled it
Yep.
when you came back. 'cause that's how much
But
we
no,
love you.
I am super excited for Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild is probably one of the Zelda games I relate to the most. Loved it. I'm curious to see what they can do to make it more, though.
Yeah, I'm at 11. It's my most anticipated game of the year. It's not close, which is saying something. But I agree with you 1,000%. Right? Like it is. What are they gonna do? And that's the biggest. That's what I'm really excited about now. And I think the best analogy. And Tomlinson, tell me if I'm crazy on this. And Linda, you can evaluate my insanity throughout this entire thing. For me, it's almost like a fighting game announcement, where it really
True.
is like I'm expecting like. We got the title, right? So for a while it was a sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And now we know it's Tears of the Kingdom. So now it's like, okay, what does that mean? And now it's almost like a fighting game where I'm just expecting anytime now, we're just going to start getting details. Little videos from Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get a direct soon.
We have
But-
to, but
Yeah.
if they have shown for other games that they've also been very comfortable. Oh, check out this weapon, check out this enemy, check out this region, and we're just gonna slowly get more and more information. And I just know that I'm gonna watch those videos 100 times each, trying to figure stuff out. And whenever that, I mean, and it's coming out March or not March,
May 12th.
May 12th.
May 12th. I'm looking at the Switch page right now.
Uh,
And
do-
and to Jeff's point, like the this was one where I at the time I was making enough money where like I was talking down the Switch, and then I went and I pre-ordered the Switch along with Legends of Zelda, and then played 140 hours. Like before the clock was implemented, I had over 140 hours. Then the clock like feature came in the system update. And yeah, I love that game. There's something about Zelda and the way they did it. It hit the right time, and I know it looks empty, but like there's so many moments because of the emptiness. Like right now, I'm replaying Death Stranding, and I'm getting that same feeling. Like, yeah, it's a barren game, but that leads you to come upon things that are solely for you.
Yeah,
And everybody has a different experience with the game.
that is the thing I loved about it. So, I listened to video game podcasts, and people, all the podcasts for months was all about Breath of the Wild. And every time someone new would become, I think I'm listening to Nintendo voice chat from IGN, and they're like, I found the dead horse skeletons. I'm like, I didn't even know this was a thing, and I've been playing this for months. And going back on, it's called Tears of the Kingdom. Do you remember when it was first announced and like, oh, we can't give you the title because it'll give everything away? And then they gave it the title. We're all like, what does this mean?
And does tears mean tears, or
no.
does tears mean tears?
That was confirmed through the Japanese translation. It is tears, as in the tears that you cry, not tears, as in tears.
Because they actually never said it, too.
Well, you're right. But it was the Japanese translation. That was very quickly solved in the Nintendo voice chat forums on Facebook, as well as everywhere else. Because everybody that speaks Japanese saw the title. It's like, nah, guys, don't worry. Linda, you've seen dozens of hours of this game played.
More than that, yes. Between my husband and my youngest is so excited for this.
Yeah. Are you going to make him wait?
So here's the thing. His birthday is the week prior to the release. So I have a feeling he's going to get a card on his birthday that says, you will be receiving it upon release.
Oh, I think that's pretty sick.
Because his birthday is literally, because you said it's May 12th?
May 12th, yeah.
So his birthday is literally like in the week prior. So he can't get it on his birthday, but he can get the thing saying it's pre-ordered and you're getting it next week.
I can't wait to play it and then talk to him, because talking to other people is like a pastime. Talking to other people about Zelda Breath of the Wild was a pastime unto itself, for the same reason Jeff talked, is that we all just had very different experiences. Like, I never built my house in that town, and people keep talking about like having the house, and I just never did it because I was off doing other
Me
stuff.
neither.
I never
the first thing I did is I grabbed the stick you find, set the stick on fire, and lit all the grass around me.
Yeah. Oh man, I did. All of us did such dumb stuff. I can't wait. So that's Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. That's coming May 12th. And I only really have the two that I want to talk about, and I'm just gonna get it over the way. In June 4th, I believe it is Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't even, like, the reason I am here is because I put into words how excited I am about games. And I am super stoked about Legend of Zelda, but like, there is something about a brand new Street Fighter game that has me just tied in knots. And part of it is because I have made the promise to myself that this is the one. I am going to be good at Street Fighter 6. And
Steve, you're not good at video games. We've established this.
I know, but listen. I feel like I have to. Because here's what happened. This year, what did I do? I streamed Elden Ring. Nobody thought I was going to do it. I streamed it. I played it. I beat a boss. I did more with Elden Ring. And and you know what I said to myself? If I could beat a boss in Elden Ring, I could get good at Street Fighter. And because here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to just go in and just force myself to be Ryu. I'm going to try other characters. I'm going to do all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to do a lot of it streaming, probably as part of our 10th anniversary celebration, which may involve me getting my butt kicked online in Street Fighter 6. But you know what? I'm gonna learn. I will hire a coach if I have to. But yeah,
Go to classes.
Street Fighter 6.
Steve, we'll write an intervention plan for you. It's fine. I think between Jeff and I think we have enough experience with, supporting and, meeting goals. We can get this done for you.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Make sure they're SMART goals. I just had a meeting about that yesterday.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Definitely have to
absolutely.
be a SMART goal.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, listen, great. So I think we absolutely need to have. So we need to make SMART goals.
We are your
Goals,
friends, Steven.
Yeah, you
The
guys are my
Connecticut
friends. Oh my god! All right,
online
so
system
can
for
we
that
put that-
documentation is
Can we put that on the list for work this weekend, where we can come up with where we can unironically come up with SMART goals for me getting good at Street Fighter 6? Because I think
Steven?
that is good content. What?
We are here for you. We may not believe in you, but we're here for you.
Wow. Tell me somebody in the chat believes in me. Somebody
Just
in the
like
chat
your
has to
wife,
believe
we're
in me.
here to help you pick up the pieces.
Yeah, somebody in chat
Okay.
tell me that you believe in me. Like Seasons of the
This
Sea,
is
which is out
amazing.
there. Gatto Logic is here. One of you,
She's stuck at
Mega
work.
Mom is there.
Yeah.
Somebody has to believe in me. There we go. Kai believes in me. Thank you, Marie. She just died in a dungeon to be able to say that, guys. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Because she's definitely playing World of Warcraft right now, and I'm pretty sure she just died in a dungeon to say that. So, that's how important it is. Anyway, we should definitely put that on the list for stuff to figure out, because I think that would be really funny. She says she didn't die, but close. So those are my two. I think honestly, there's a whole bunch of other stuff coming at me. Final Fantasy 16, which I'm just kind of waiting for, but whatever. And so, Jeff, I could go on and on, but those are the two that I really wanted to hone in on. Jeff, what about you? What are your anticipated games for this year?
Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is, and I know it's kind of controversial in a way, but growing up with the series, I am excited for Hogwarts Legacy. I'm just excited to be a wizard. Do what wizards do. But I'll just leave it at that. I just want to say that's one of my games I am excited for. The other game I wanted to mention, and I forgot it was coming out until I just looked at a list before we started recording. So, Steven, I'm a super professional wrestling fan.
Yep.
In fact, before I did a Pokemon podcast, my friend and I who do it almost did a professional wrestling podcast where I was like the sensei to him who knows nothing about professional wrestling.
That would have been genius, by the way. There's still time.
It would have been. I know there's still time, but there is no time to record.
Yeah, we took the last of your time. Ha.
People are always say the 2K games, they are way too simmy, it's hard to get into them. I love them. I've played them since the beginning. Now they have announced that how would you feel about a wrestling RPG?
Oh, you're talking about WrestleQuest.
WrestleQuest.
Yeah.
It's not just generic WrestleQuest, because in this game there's Andre the Giant, Bret Hart, DDP, Jake Roberts, Jeff Jarrett, Legion of Doom, Macho Man Randy Savage, and you get to fight them in a wrestling ring using RPG mechanics.
Yep. Oh yeah. This is one of those games that I forget, but then as soon as someone even mentions professional wrestling role-playing game, I lose my mind. Linda,
And
you've seen me do stupid things, but
That's
is
true.
This is a 16-bit era RPG where you get to play with Macho Man Randy Savage. Jeff, this is our game. It was made for us.
so
I just
And,
want to see
you
you
know-
play with Andre the Giant. That's more nostalgic for me.
And I don't think they've announced if you get your own character or if you just play against these characters. But as you said, Amanda is very much into indies. I follow indies, but I typically don't buy an indie. I'm more of a AAA gamer, and I'll play an indie when it's on PS Plus or a Game Pass. But this one may be a day one purchase for me because it is wrestling. I love wrestling. My most played game of 2022 was WWE 2K22. I put 80 hours into that game this year.
Yeah, man. Well, you had to do the Rey Mysterio stuff.
Yes. So,
Absolutely. 100%.
and I'm looking forward. they haven't announced if 2K24 or 2K23 is coming out this year.
I mean,
If it is, I don't think it's going to be till October. I think they're trying to get back on their original track because it's a little late to announce it for WrestleMania season.
oh yeah, it's definitely not. I would bet that during the lead up to WrestleMania, or maybe the Monday night Raw after WrestleMania would be a great time to announce 2K23 because everybody watching. Yeah, WrestleQuest. WrestleQuest.
I'm so excited for that game.
So excited. I like I said, I always forget about it and it comes out. Mr. Tomlinson, what about you? Throw some games at us. Let's pitch Linda on some games. Because we got to get Linda. We got her to play Super Mario Odyssey this summer. We got to find
Sure.
a game that we will get Linda to play. You know.
So, in no particular order,
Yeah.
I'm gonna first swing with Spider-Man 2.
Jeez, man. Like, how
That game,
cool
that's a
is-
hard swing too. That's out of the park. Because the first one was flawless. It's one of the few games where you talk to people that don't normally platinum games, and they platinum that
It's
game.
me.
Like,
Yeah,
exactly.
It was our game of the year that year.
Yeah,
and
it's
it wasn't even
it's
close.
flawless.
It
Yeah.
wasn't even close.
The fact that they made a like 1.5 with Miles Morales, and that's another flawless game. It was a bit more expensive because it was a shorter game, but this is a full scale game where we will be playing Peter Parker again, and I can't wait
Oh yeah.
to see that and what that sets up with the Wolverine game coming and Venom coming, because Venom is in the trailer for this.
Yeah.
I
wow.
love me some Venom. Love me some Venom.
They made
So-
flying around. They
Yeah.
made like freaking swinging around New York. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean,
Fun.
the fact that you
Like-
gained XP by doing it was just like a
Yeah.
little touch for me, where it was like, all right, now I can just roll around and feel like I'm actually like getting something out
Yeah,
of it. Oh, God, I love that.
where you just like random crimes happen and then you go stop them, just like procedurally generated stuff. Amazing, so much fun.
Absolutely.
And
Um,
as John said, people who don't platinum games platinum this game, and it's one of my few platinums I have because even the side stuff was just so much fun to do, and you know it was a little like it wasn't the best for the side stuff, so I just imagine it's gonna be even better
Yeah.
going into the second one.
Yeah.
oh, totally.
I just want to know how we're going to handle juggling back and forth between the two characters.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, are we going to be switching it at any time, a la GTA 5 kind of thing, where it's like they're just doing stuff and you can switch back and forth? Or is it going to be mission based? I don't know. That is what I'm really interested in, because they have said we'll be playing as both characters. And so it'll be really interesting to see how they do that mechanically. I'm sure that was one of the first things they decided from a design perspective, is how we're going to handle both Spider-Men. Can't wait. And also kind of can't wait to see what other surprises they pull out, because that game had a lot of surprises in it. The first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2. Oof. That's going to be a treat to close out the year. What it sounds like will be a very good year. So what else you got?
I feel that, and I'm gonna call it out here before we move on, that they're gonna put another superhero from another franchise in that
Yeah.
and spin it off.
Like the Human Torch
like-
or something like that?
I don't know if you go for that, but like something maybe like Luke Cage, maybe something else, a little more mature.
Yeah, maybe.
Do like Defenders spin-off or Avengers spin-off, like
They just get
Wolverine,
that-
maybe. Who knows?
Well, a Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur platformer. Can we just get that?
Oh yeah.
She's getting a
Very
cartoon
good.
on. She's going to be on the Disney
Is she?
Channel. Mhm.
Oh nice.
Yeah, and it's coming
Uh,
to Disney Plus.
And
I
then
can't
they're
wait to watch
putting it in
that with
Disney
my
Plus,
daughter.
Like a month later. Yeah, Moon
Yeah.
Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Linda, let me tell you what Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is. Moon Girl is.
Oh, please fill me in because I haven't a clue.
Yeah.
Moon Girl is she canonically the smartest person in Marvel Comics? She's
I think
No.
second because
She's-
of Reed Richard,
one of the
Yeah.
smartest people,
Yeah.
and she's this little she's a little
10-year-old.
girl. Yeah, she's like 10, 11, but and she's Moon Girl. She's super smart. She uses gadgets and stuff, but she fights crime alongside a T-Rex.
She
Oh,
pulled
neat.
out of a portal to another universe.
Yeah, then she built a wormhole and got the dinosaur. So Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. She's got it. She is so it's going to be on the Disney Channel, and then they're going to be airing the episodes on Disney Plus shortly thereafter. Very stylized. I love the music. Looks very cool.
Neat.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
definitely something worth checking out.
So,
All right.
what else?
So, one more for the family. I'm gonna say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's right on the border because it's more. It's got to be a teen or M,
Well, it's
but
probably
like a
gonna be
soft
T.
M.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be T. From what I understand, it's gonna be T rated, just like the last one.
Yeah.
Because it's the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is one of those like Final Fantasy VII Remake was like a hard T, and like we had a whole podcast episode about
There's a heavy T. Yeah.
me thinking the ESRB got it wrong. I talked about it on
Yeah.
TikTok, and I had a bunch of people yelling at me because they misunderstood what I was talking about and trying to say that I
Yeah.
didn't think they should have made the game and all that. And I was like, no,
No.
just think they should have
Like,
labeled it as M.
yeah.
I still would have let my kids play it because it's just
Yeah.
a language, but whatever, dude. But
Yeah, we had a lot of conversations on the EFG show about that game
yep,
too.
we did because it was so wild. And I think, you know what? I cannot wait to see them continue the story because they took Final Fantasy VII and they made it good.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth because it is. I do not hide the fact that I think Final Fantasy VII is one of the worst Final Fantasies, and it is overrated and way better. 8 and 9 are way better on the PlayStation, and so I actually got to play through the story because I'm actually playing a game I enjoy.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
It was an awesome experience. You know, Intergrade was cool too, and so it'll be cool to kind of see the story continue, and also just just looking. I love how pretty they made the world, and now it's not going to
Yeah.
be stuck in like the
Yeah.
diesel punk, cyberpunk. Like
My only
Like,
I haven't seen much on
grass.
Rebirth, but
They haven't
like
said
I just yeah, exactly. But like I want more of the open world that I felt in Final Fantasy
Well,
VII originally.
We all
So-
remember the beginning part of Final Fantasy VII is in Midgard, and
Yep.
it's and they ended that
Then it
game
opens up, yeah.
leaving. So we're
Yeah.
gonna see more grass. You know what I
A
mean?
lot
And
more,
so-
yeah.
and I'm looking forward to
Hopefully.
that. So hopefully we will.
More
what
grass,
else?
but less drag.
More.
So-
yeah. What else?
I'm gonna speed run some of these and then give you my final thoughts on one that is not on the list that I put in the chat. I'm just gonna run through all my grown-ups, which is Assassin's Creed Mirage, Resident Evil 4 remake, Dead Space remake, and Alan Wake 2. But I said it before, I'm hyped for Death Stranding 2. It's one of the most weirdest games that like also was very earnest in its message of reconnecting a broken country. So like I can't wait to see what they do in the next one. I'm replaying it now and just the nuance in it and the feeling of it. Like there's one point where a guy thought he lost his girlfriend. Turns out the girlfriend was, the next town over. So you go and you take her to see them, and then they fall in love and get married and everything. And you follow that journey with them through emails after you deliver them. And you're just an Amazon driver. That's the whole game. You're just an Amazon driver.
It's pick up
It's
and
so
deliver the
weird.
video
So
game.
so pretty though. It's so pretty. Yeah. So
Yeah, man. I do we know that that's coming out next year though?
what? Death Stranding?
That's right.
Was it-
DS2.
Yeah, it was at the Game Awards. It's coming out in like 3 months.
What? Oh,
What?
wow. I didn't know.
Yeah, there was a date.
I didn't. Yeah, the thing about the Game Awards is I really just don't believe any dates they give us. I just don't trust anything. Linda, did any of these games sound interesting to you? I want to know, like, if we were going to pick one of the games that any of us mentioned, is there any of these that we're going to convince you to play with us?
So of everything that you folks have mentioned, Spider-Man, hands down.
Yeah.
Because that also, Spider-Man was on the short list when I was planning to play a video game last summer. Spider-Man was on the short list of things I might actually like to play. So I am super excited. I've watched a ton of the original one. So
Yeah.
that's the one that I want to see more of and see the new one.
Oh, we're definitely going to see more of that. I think we should
for
probably be seeing more of it soon, right?
Mhm.
You know, at the very least.
Yeah.
At the very
I
least,
think I may stream that whole game. That's
well,
another
you
good
did
one.
that with
Where...
Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, I did that with Ragnarok. There was one thing where my stream failed, and we missed like a dream sequence, right before he went, before Kratos went to a battle. Yeah. So,
No
did you finish
spoilers.
yet? Are you
No.
how far are you?
No spoilers. We'll talk about it later. No, I have not finished it, but I've been putting in a couple hours every week.
Every week.
Bro, y'all know I play World of
Yeah,
Warcraft, right?
yeah,
And
we understand.
World of Warcraft Dragonflight just came out, like literally, and I raid. So like, I'm being a bit more respectful of my console time and taking it when I can. And I think that that's going to continue more because the World of Warcraft has settled down a little bit. We're in the nice, like, the pattern of now we know what to do and when to do it, etc. So trust me, I'll finish it.
I've just fallen off the MMO train. Like, I've completely given up on Destiny 2 just because everything like feels the same. Like, I need a story or I need a puzzle game, and then to move on from it. So
yeah, ultimately it's it's a social thing for me, but also now like Evan plays with me, and
yeah,
that's,
I
like,
get
a
that.
really cool
Yeah,
experience, raiding with him. And fighting huge bosses, and the two of us are on opposite sides of the house, and the boss is at 1%, and we're screaming. It's just
get him. Yeah,
there's something about that. But anyway, this is not a World of Warcraft podcast.
Well, I will say it is great now that Kyrie turns 7 next week, and she is finally getting to the point where she understands how a controller works. And so Kyrie and I have been playing Sackboy these last few weeks.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Because I got it at launch. I played a little bit by myself, and somehow, miraculously, we've even been able to beat like the double levels where you have to have someone else.
Wow.
It's a lot of me getting frustrated and my wife telling me it's just a game.
I mean, it's true.
It's true.
She is right. She is right.
There might have been a point where I was controlling both controllers with my hands to get something to work.
Got a logic in the chat saying that his wife says he is not allowed to play MMOs. Well, you know what? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I am very lucky. But maybe I think there's more than one person that is glad that the expansion newness has worn off, and now instead of new content, it is the stuff I got to do every day just to go and then be done with it. So, anything else coming out this year that we really want to jam on? What about?
Not really.
Let's talk about Starfield for a second.
Okay.
Because Starfield is coming out this spring, and they committed to it. Linda, Starfield is Skyrim in space.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I got for you.
That's the tweet, huh?
So that's the tweet. Yeah, it is. What do we think, Jeff? Are you playing Starfield, or are you waiting for Starfield?
I will not be playing because I don't have a Series X or an S yet, and I don't.
Oh, that's right. You don't have an Xbox. Okay.
I have an Xbox. I had an Xbox. If I have an Xbox One.
Yeah. All right. So if you had a Series X or something like that, would you play it? Like, does it interest you in any way?
It does interest me. I would probably play it. I wouldn't buy it. I'd get Game Pass. Even if I wasn't subscribed to Game Pass, I would probably subscribe $15 for a month just to play it.
Yeah.
Actually, for that, I only have to
Well, it's
pay
only
that.
it's only like $1.
Yeah. I feel
like
I'm
that.
the same way as Jeff. Is that I really like Skyrim, but sci-fi is not my jam. So like I like big role-playing games, and Skyrim is great. When Elder Scrolls 6 comes out in 20 years.
Yeah, see, I'm not an Elder Scrolls guy. I'm a Fallout guy, so I'm more on the Fallout side. But it's the same kind of thing where Fallout's post-apocalyptic, and this is going to be space. So, but the same system.
I think it would definitely be my game. I loved Mass Effect.
Yep.
I actually replayed Mass Effect 1 and 2. I need to still replay 3. But I played
I
it with
keep
the
trying. I fall asleep.
Legendary Edition. I mean, I've already beaten the best one, which is 2. So
Yeah.
I don't need to go back to 3 if I don't have to.
Dude, it is
Um,
hot. It is hot take day from Jeff. Although Mass Effect 2 being the best Mass Effect is not
Yeah.
really that
But,
hot of a
and
take.
3's not bad, especially since they fixed it. And I've never played Andromeda because, it's Andromeda.
You know what? I've heard some really good things about Andromeda post them fixing it.
Yeah,
Because it was
that's a
released
game I
with a
need
lot
to.
of bugs, but like my understanding is that in the months afterwards, once they fixed all that stuff, it turned into a really great game, from what I understand.
Steven, another game I want to mention real quickly that isn't, I feel like, not getting a lot of hype, and I think it's because one of these games seems to come out every year, but Ishion Like a Dragon is coming out, and the Yakuza series is
Yep.
low-key becoming one of my favorite series. And granted, I've never beaten a Yakuza game, but I think I'm getting ready to because I'm over halfway done with. I've been playing Judgment recently,
All right. Okay.
and those games are just hilarious. For instance, I did a side quest where this Chinese man and part of the Chinese mafia comes against me, and these two Chinese mafia members are trying to get this cat because the leader of the Chinese mafia died, and the cat's the only one knows where he kept his stash. They want to follow the cat to find out where all his money is, and then you help them, and you find out, oh, he had the address on the collar, so it could return, so people could return it home.
The Yakuza games are so absolutely stupid that absolutely. More Yakuza is great. Linda, Yakuza is a series that is very Japanese and started in Japan and they've been porting it over, and now it's so successful here. One of the missions in one of the most recent Yakuza games is a kid, because you're a Yakuza dude, but there's a whole thing. And there's a kid who wants you to buy him an inappropriate magazine.
Oh,
Because he can't buy it himself. So he
Right.
needs you. So you have to make a decision as to whether or not you're going to buy this teenage kid. It's not like a kid. It's like a
Okay.
It's like a 14,
It's not a
15-year-old
little
kid.
kid.
It's not in a.
teen.
It's like a teenage boy or whatever. It's like, hey man, could you buy me one of those magazines? And you know what you're doing. And then it's
Right.
so you get to decide. But if you do it, and then some thugs come up and they try and steal the magazine from the kid, and so then
Oh.
you got to fight the bad guys, and
Oh my goodness.
you can fight them with everything around you. So you can pick up bicycles, and because it is not meant to be serious. There's another
Okay.
mini game chain in one of the most recent ones where you can become a professional bowler, and your manager is a chicken that can talk.
Okay.
The best part about these games is usually the main character, the character you play, is the most serious person in the whole.
Oh, absolutely!
Okay. And you're doing
And then
the
there's just
weirdest,
nonsense around you.
and you're doing all this nonsense. We'll get off this, but I just have to say, they've changed it into an RPG series where one of the characters in Yakuza Like a Dragon is a homeless guy. And so, RPGs, you have your spells. He's your mage. One of his magic spells is he reaches into his trench coat, pulls out bird seed, throws it at people, and then all these birds comes and starts pecking them to death.
Yeah. One of your summons in the game is you use your cell phone and you can summon a giant attack crawfish.
And a giant man
Wait,
wearing a baby
you see-
diaper.
And a giant man wearing a baby diaper. Galalogic
my
in the
goodness.
chat saying that the main plot is this ruthless, played perfectly straight, Yakuza, mafia style plot. And then the side quests are just absolute bananas.
It is.
So it's one of those games that's they're rated M, but they're just really kind of dumb. And so
Rated M for language and blood.
yeah, language and blood, but
Okay.
it's a Yakuza movie.
Right.
It's because it's Yakuza stuff. But yeah, I can't wait for more Yakuza stuff. It's just so stupid.
I keep telling myself I want to play through the entire series, but the issue with all those games are they're all very much the exact same game with a different story.
And it's
Oh,
and they're many,
right.
many dozens of hours, and there's like
So,
9.
like, the game I'm playing is Judgment, and it has a completely different name, but it's just Yakuza.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a spin-off
Yeah,
game. Yeah,
it's a spin-off.
But it's not even a spin-off because you play it exactly like any of the Yakuza games. So I don't.
Yep. Well, it is technically a spin-off. They build it as a spin-off because it's supposed to be the serious one.
Oh, jeez.
But it's not. So anyway, everybody, Godalogic says you should play Zero if you have to pick any of them because Yakuza 0 is set in the 80s. That makes sense probably. So, guys, we did it. We talked about a whole lot of games coming out in 2023.
Yeah.
So, this 2023 is going to be a very exciting year. We got the 10th anniversary of VFG. We've got all these awesome video games coming out that we're going to be able to talk about. All these awesome board games that Linda and I are going to be able to talk about with everybody. We got Planescape coming. Man, it's going to be wild. So everybody watching and listening, thank you very much for joining us tonight. This has been episode 295. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for another episode where the 5 of us will gather to talk about all sorts of stuff. Hopefully Linda will have internet by then. Actually,
I hope so.
Hopefully she has internet by Saturday because we're all going to be there.
It's going to get complicated if I don't have internet by Saturday.
Yeah, they'll figure it out, I'm sure. But until everybody, I hope you have a good night. We will see you in 2 weeks. And until next time, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye now.
Bye.